Hello my friend, today we're going to be doing a track review for the song The Melody by Black Loops. It's on a new EP he has coming out called Something Special, which should be on March 20th on Free Range Records. So we'll just jump right into it right after the drop. So, The Melody by Black Loops. I'm kind of hoping for something kind of jazzy, that deep house kind of vibe that he usually puts out. I'm actually a pretty big fan of Black Loops, and kind of that comes into my own music when I'm making it. So I'm hoping for something pretty cool here, a little bit more upbeat than more chill and ambient. But we'll go through the first listen right now and I'll give my initial reactions. So without further ado. Cool, so first impressions, I definitely like it. It's kind of chill, but still a little bit more upbeat. It's kind of got that jazzy vibe with mostly, it sounds like mostly just synths, not a lot of samples so much. So it sounds like he actually played a lot of everything in. Definitely like the percussion. There seems to be a lot going up on the high end, a lot of like hi-hats and kind of shakers, kind of keeping things interesting. The chords were nice. Usually in most of the breaks, it sounded like the chord progression changed quite a bit, which I liked quite a bit. And definitely the standout thing so far, at least in the initial impression, is that funky ass bass line. The bass line is super funky, really like that. That and also the kind of arpeggio bell-like sound in the kind of the second half that comes in. That's super cool. So I am going to go for a bit of a walk and make some music outside. I'll listen to it maybe 3, 4, 5 more times and kind of get a better idea of what I'm thinking. So I'll go do that and we'll get into the deep end of the review. All right, so now that I've had a few more listens, maybe 5 or 6 more listens of the track, I'll give you a deeper look into what I'm thinking. So starting from the beginning, I definitely really like how the bass line rolls in. It doesn't really come in on the one, it sort of dances in to the one, which kind of follows how the chords are moving, which is really awesome. And more on the chords actually in particular. They're quite unique. The sound isn't that standard Rhodes or maybe a standard synth sound. It sounds a little bit more interesting. I have a feeling it's meant to be FM synthesis from how it sounds and also from something that I recently read on the YouTube video premiere that I saw. And it sounds like there might be a few layers going on. There's definitely some kind of dubby echo on the main lower sound, but it also sounds like as the notes are held, another sounds coming underneath and kind of modulating. Seems like it's swelling with a filter, which is really cool. It's changing up a lot. I think the chords are one of the things in this song that kind of keep things interesting. It's quite a stripped down song. There's not too much going on, but when you listen, there's a lot of subtle changes going on in the chords, which sounds really cool to me. On top of that, the percussion and the snares, they kind of change up quite a bit. There's almost like little fills going on throughout the track, which I think helps keep momentum going throughout it as well. Which then gets us to the bass line, which is still, from my initial listen, it's still one of my favorite parts. Super funky, super groovy. Even though it's more or less playing the same thing and sounds more or less the same to me throughout the same track, or throughout the track, I think it's still one of the standout parts. In terms of the composition, the arrangement of the track, there's nothing too crazy going on there. It's a pretty standard track, kind of builds up at the beginning. There's a few drops and a few breaks into the drops, and then the track builds down near the end. One interesting part is after the second break, there is kind of this arpeggio kind of sound. It's like a belly kind of sound. It's really just a few notes followed by a delay. And this comes in and kind of really changes up the vibe. Most of the track is just the bass line and the groove going with chords over top. This kind of breaks it apart with something a little bit more of a melody. It's not the most catchy melody in the world, but it's something that kind of signals to the listener that there is something different going on. So it's not completely monotonous, which is awesome. And the sound of it and that the vibe is definitely one of my favorite parts as well. And going on to the vibe of the track, the vibe definitely sits somewhere between chill or like laid back, and somewhere upbeat. It's definitely a very cool track for sure. The drums and the bass are definitely keeping it groovy and upbeat, whereas if those were changed in any way, maybe a little bit slower and less funky, it would sound a lot more chill, like super chill. Like the chords are drawn out and they're not going too fast, which make it very chill sounding, at least to my ear. All in all, I feel like it's a good song to vibe out to. I could see this landing in a DJ set, maybe somewhere near the beginning of the set for the warm up, maybe in between some bangers to cool things down, or maybe more near the end of the night to cool things down. With that said, I'd probably give this one a 6.5 out of 10. It's not a crazy good track. It's definitely a solid track and definitely something I would listen to again. So 6.5, maybe 7. I'm going to leave it at 6.5. So those are my thoughts. Let me know what you think, I guess, in the comments below. Do you agree? Do you disagree? And if you like this kind of music just like me and you want to hear more track reviews and even some of my own music, make sure you subscribe and do all that other stuff. So until next time, see you, friend.